Hey, 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 it's KrepsyK, and we're back at it again. We got 3 more ramen noodles we're going to try. The Ichiban Shrimp flavor, pretty standard flavor here. The How vegetarian flavor, because I don't discriminate. And the Indomie chicken curry flavor. I'm going to start with the basic shrimp. I've eaten some other shrimp ramen, so I think this is going to be a pretty easy judge here. Let's get started. Alright, we've got the contents here. We're going to just go ahead and get into it. I had to go get the water started, so I don't want to waste too much time outside of filming. So I do want to go ahead and get situated. Looks like the normal square and the normal regular soup base. No veggies extra. Oh, no extra veggies. Looks like no heat flavor packets or spice flavor packets in there. Just the regular soup base and the noodles. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in the water. We'll see how they turn out. Okay, so we are cooked. Everything's good to go. I can tell you that it smells like just a normal pack of ramen. Also, that, well, it didn't seem to have anything extra than like what your normal store-bought ramen has. But it's all about the taste, right? It's all about the taste, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is pretty easy to grade. I'm not going to call any ramen noodles maybe under like a 70%, like a C, right? Because most ramen that you buy at the store is average. And really, we've all had some that I guess would be considered below average. I would set this right at maybe slightly above the same grading that I would give the Maruchan or whatever store-bought brand shrimp ramen noodles. It seems that this here, and it tastes about the same. It's a little bolder, which is why maybe like if the normal store-bought brand would be a 70%, I would give this maybe a 75%. I would not grade this at like a B, because I've had some, if you want to grade it A, B, C, a couple of the ones that we did last week, one of them was definitely an A+, the other one was definitely an A, and the spicy one I didn't grade because it was more spicy than I was willing to give a grade. So this, if the store-bought brand is average, C level, I would definitely give this maybe a C, C+. Other than that, I think we can go ahead and get started on the other two. Alright, so next up, sorry guys, I did lose the packaging for the last one, so I can't set it aside like I did in the first video. That's alright. You understand, you can go back, you can look at it, you can see my review. I apologize. I'll save these two. Next up, we're going to try the chicken curry, the Indomie chicken curry. Looks good. I'm not going to try and read that flavor. We're going to look inside, see what it comes with. Appears to be regular noodles. It does come with extra soup. Okay, so you've got the spice. I will be adding the spice because usually these aren't too bad. Seasoning powder for the soup and the seasoned oil for the soup. So already you can tell that the quality is a little bit better than your average soup. So that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and get this in a pot and see what it looks like when it's done. By the way, before I get started or get eating, fun tip. If you've got one of the oil packets, all you have to do is run it under hot water, and then you can mix this in just fine, and you run less of a risk of leaving more of this inside of these clever little packages. So let's go ahead and finish cooking this and get eating. Alright, we are cooked up, we are ready to go. First thing I can point out is you can smell the spice. I did include all the spice, I did include the oil packet, all that good stuff. And it does smell like a curry, or at least curry powder. And I've got 2 different kinds of curry powder here at the house up on the shelf. So yes, I would say it does qualify as a curry flavor. Now, the question is, how spicy, because not all curry is spicy, and how, I guess, on point is it for a curry flavor, and does the chicken come through? And finally, overall, is it a chicken curry? Now, I can point out right away that the noodles are a classic type of noodle. It's not like the thin noodles that we saw in the first video, and it's not like the clear noodles that I'm sure we'll see in one of these going forward. It is the classic noodle. So I'm going to go ahead and get a good bite in here and see. It's good. It's really good. It's not nearly as spicy as I thought it'd be, but like you can see, or I guess try from some curries, it does have a slight sweetness. It does have a slight, I don't know if it's a cinnamon flavor or maybe allspice, I'm not quite sure, but there is a sweet type of flavor in there, which is good. It's not terribly spicy, which for me is good. I don't like overly spicy things, but I do like some spicy things. You know, like a good medium heat. And I think this provides a mild to medium heat with a good sweetness in it. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to take another bite here, just because. Okay. There's definitely a chicken flavor. There's definitely a good curry flavor. If you were to compare it to a average, you know, I'm trying to go off of a ABC kind of grade. So far there hasn't been a D, so hopefully I don't have to drop it down to a D. I would definitely give this a B. It's not some of the best ramen I've ever had, but it is an interesting flavor. Similar if you're drinking the normal, like Walmart big box store brands. What is it, Maruchan? It's similar to the creamy chicken in the way that it's not quite the average flavor or a basic flavor, so that's good. Again, if you like a little heat, that's good. And I'm really interested in the sweetness flavor that comes out of this. So I'm definitely going to give this a solid B. Again, that is the Indomie chicken curry flavor, and it's not terrible. It's really not bad at all. I like it. So, I guess it's time to get on to the next flavor. Okay, and for our final flavor today, it's going to be the How, I assume that's how you say it, vegetarian flavor. I do like vegetarian flavors. One of my favorite ramen noodles growing up was the Oriental flavor from like your Maruchan normal big box store kind. So hopefully this is a superior version to something like that. Let's go ahead and get inside. Looks like the noodles are actually a little more fine. They're a little smaller. Comes with your soup packet and of course your palm oil and extra seasoning packet there. Does not look like it comes with any dried veggies, sorry. But it's interesting that the noodles are much smaller. This is the Ace Cook Happiness Ace Cook brand Japanese noodle. So soup packet and oil already. I'm gonna mark this above, at least, you know, with your little kit, you know, above average. It's always nice to have additional things that really kind of dress up your noodles to that next step. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this in the pot. Okay, we are here. We are doing the last noodle here, and then I'm gonna give my final thoughts. Get my sleeves rolled up. Here's a taste. See how vegetarian this vegetarian really is. First things first, it's interesting. These noodles almost taste like a wheat noodle. Not quite like a normal ramen noodle. It's obviously thinner than the others. Same texture, thinner, but the noodles have their own flavor, almost like a wheat noodle. It's a very mild flavor. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just very, very mild. I don't know exactly where I would rate this. It smells good. It smells like other Japanese style noodles that I've made in the past. Unfortunately, I wasn't even thinking about reviewing them, but it smells so much similar. Alright, well, I think I have this down to where I'd grade it. I would put this with a C grade, and not because it's plain or anything, but because the flavor is just not really so bold. It's very, very mild, and if you want a mild soup, then I would rate this much higher. If you want something that's just, a vegetable soup, obviously it's not going to be the American idea of vegetable soup, but if you want a vegetable flavored ramen noodle, I would rate this higher. Now, because it's not got a strong flavor, because it's very mild, I'm going to rate this at a high C or a low B, right in that like C plus B minus grade. And with that being said, let's move on to our overall grading. Now, I can't put the first noodle that we tried, I don't have it here in my hand. I'm going to try and take a little clip from earlier in the video and put it in here, just to kind of remind you guys of what I was eating and how I felt about it. The Ichiban Shrimp flavor, pretty standard flavor here. I know that I gave it an average grade because it tasted like an average shrimp kind of noodle, not much different from the Maruchan brand. Next, the chicken curry. I think the lady and I determined that it was either cardamom or turmeric. I'm not sure how you say it. That was an additional flavor in this. Might not have been cinnamon, but it was one of those flavors. It does say on the back of the package that there's turmeric. I'm not totally unsure that there's not cardamom in this. It does also say that there's a little bit of sugar, so it really is a quote-unquote sweet and spicy. It's not like your classic Japanese style sweet and spicy, or Chinese or Korean style sweet and spicy. It's very much an Indonesian regional sweet and spicy. I rated this a B. I think it's very much a B. It was very good. The noodles were good quality, all that good stuff. So I really did like this. And again, for the vegetable, it was mild. It was nice. It was a good flavor, but it was a very mild flavor. No one vegetable stood out more than the others. I think I would have liked more onion flavor, maybe some mushroom flavor to really come through in that. But that being said, it was also a good ramen noodle. Like I said, high C, low B, somewhere in that region. Nothing too impressive, but not a bad ramen either. So, I want to thank you all for stopping by. You all have a great day. This was KrepsyK, and I'm getting out of here.